This is Rhonda Johnson from CoreEdge HR Workforce Solutions. I will be interviewing Ed Brown, the lead instructor at CoreEdge Image and Charisma Institute. And the interview will focus on nurturing the self-interests of motivated employees. Ed, my first question is this. In a recovering economy, why should employers nurture the self-interests of motivated employees?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. The underscore of your question would be motivated employees. Because now more than ever in the global economy, you need motivated employees. Motivated employees actually push the envelope more than unmotivated employees. They look for innovative ways to have breakthrough ideas. And they actually will be the ones you can count on more over a long period of time because you're giving them what they need based on their self-interest, but also the interest of the corporation.
What evidence have you come across that suggests that self-interested employees are effective at increasing corporate productivity and thus profitability?
Well, the social scientist Pavlov talked about the interest of human beings to move towards pleasure and away from pain. I think that anytime things are pleasurable for an employee, it's going to be in their best interest, and they're going to produce more and be more engaged in any pain you cause. Also, Richard Dawkins talked about the selfish gene, the idea that we're always trying to push our DNA or push our interests or ideas to the future. And so when you have a motivated person acting in self-interest to push their ideas to the future, that's beneficial for the person and the corporation. And more importantly, in the idea of conventional contemporary employee motivation, when you want recognition, you want self-expression, and you desire to be respected for your efforts, that motivated employee who does that will not only give you all the value you want from them as it relates to their productivity, they also lend itself to the profitability of the company.
You have said in the past that fear is a motivator. How does that concept tie into the idea of self-interest?
Fear is a motivator to the extent that we either, going back to Pavlov's thing, moving towards pleasure and away from fear, but fear of failure, fear that we're not good enough, fear that we did a good job but we can do a better job, fear that we may lose our job if we don't produce. All those dynamics go to the motivated individual saying that I'm going to do what I can to succeed because I define myself by my performance. That works for the employer because that motivated employee will be allowed to flourish and, as I said earlier, create innovative, groundbreaking opportunities that affords the self-interest and the self-actualization of the employee, and as a result of all those things lead to the bottom line for the corporation.
Ed, this is my last question. As a process, how would companies address employee self-interest during the hiring process?
Well, first of all, they had to make sure this person is motivated. And motivation comes through having a self-interest and a desire as you move towards entering that company. And so if the employer is asking questions in terms of what do you want the next 5 years to happen inside this corporation as relates to your contribution, when you start making that deal right then and there, what do you want to see happen, and this is our objective as a corporation, and you kind of fuse those things together and you start saying here are the benchmarks, that at that point in time creates the not only contract, the physical contract, but the psychological contract. And so by fusing that dynamic, what do you want from the deal? And this is what we want from the deal. You actually create the alliance as they come into the organization as opposed to down the line.